We're live now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it. Share your screen.
Okay, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to this edition of the joint meeting between Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. As usual, we will recite the Toastmasters Promise. I would urge everyone to keep their microphones muted, but please read along with me. If you don't, I will know. On the count of three, we will start. 1, 2, 3. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring the guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause to us. This is not an easy promise. Okay. Ground rules for today, please. Let us rename ourselves. If you are a Toastmaster, please write TM something before your name. If you are a distinguished Toastmaster, you should write your name, comma, then write DTM. If you are none, that means you are a guest. Please write guest something before your name. This will help us a lot during the course of the meeting. It will help us identify guests and Toastmasters. Okay, at this point, it's time for me to introduce the future president, Toastmaster Ayotola, but she has notified me just this morning that she will not be available until later in the evening. So I'm thinking we should skip the future speech and then we go ahead with the meeting proper. We are actually against time. So that means I will just go ahead with the Toastmaster role. You're going to be seeing a lot of my face today. I'm going to be the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day is simply like an MC of an event. It's also my duty to explain to us how this meeting will go. You see, at a typical Toastmasters meeting, there are three segments. There's the table topics, there's the prepared speeches, and the evaluations. We would get to know these as we go along for the benefit of the guests. But for Toastmasters, they know what I mean. Some of them can't do it for the table topics. Some of them can wait, but I know them all. And when it's time, we will identify them. Without any further ado, I would like to call upon the person who is lurking behind. You see, at any event, when you see the MC, there's someone lurking, checking, making sure everything is in order. You know, it's not just the MC running the event. You have the people that serve you food. You have the ushers. You have people that make sure the air conditioning is working. You have people that serve you food. I think I said that twice. You know, for me, they are the most important people because the MC is not going to feed me. It's them, you know? So these people are coordinated by this person that is lurking behind us. This is the only person who can tell me at the end of the meeting, man, this is a joke was terrible, don't do it again. Or, you know, I think you can do this better or you can do this, you know? So he is the general evaluator for the day. And this role is going to be played by none other than Toastmaster Chinedu Omenkuku. Toastmaster Chinedu is the Vice President Public Relations of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club. He enjoys chess and he is an IT professional. He joined Toastmasters in 2015. That's a long time, which means once he comes on, you will see that he is a seasoned speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please give welcome to Toastmaster Chinedu Omenkuku.
Thank you, TM Gimba. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I hope you can hear me clearly. As rightly introduced, I'll be acting in the capacity of the General Evaluator today. The purpose for the General Evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and does not happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for examples that shows proper preparedness, organization, delivery, observations in general, and performance of various duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my reports. Now, from all I've said, you can assume this is a very big task to do. I definitely dare not do it alone. So to assist me, I have a team of 4 seasoned Toastmasters who I'll be calling upon and assigning various roles. I would like to start with the grammarian for today. The grammarian is TM Korede Ademola. He'll be playing the role of the grammarian, and just to bring him on stage, I would like to share his bio. TM Korede is a banker who joined Toastmasters in 2020. She loves dancing. She's a very good dancer. So please welcome on the virtual lantern, TM Korede Ademola, the grammarian, to explain her role. TM Korede.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm delighted to be here today again to play this role, and I look forward to working with everybody to make the day a very good one. And understandably, today, the word of the day is pep. Pep. It's a verb, and it means to make something or someone more lively or interesting. An example is, we have ideas to pep up the party. We have ideas to pep up the party. So today I'll be listening to all of you use that word, and also listening to how you use it, and also other grammatical errors during the meeting. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, TM Korede. I think I mixed up he and she at some point, but please pardon me. We're still a team. So the next role I would like to introduce is the role of the timekeeper. This very sensitive role will be handled by TM Lawrence Unnoli. TM Lawrence Unnoli joined Toastmasters in 2018, and he has won so many accolades, including Best Table Topic Speaker. He is a lawyer who enjoys reading, writing, and good meditation. Very beautiful hobbies. Please welcome to the virtual lantern, TM Lawrence Unnoli, the timekeeper. TM Lawrence, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, TM Chinedu Omenkuku. That was a very good and peppish introduction. I hope that is okay. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, my role simply is to time our meeting, is to ensure that this meeting is conducted timeously. And for our speakers, for the table topics, you are expected to speak for 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll be displaying the green card. Please bear with me. I'll be displaying the green card to let you know that, sorry, I'm trying to, no. I'm sorry. I'll be displaying the green card to let you know that you are still within time. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll be displaying the yellow card. Please bear with me over my system. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow card, which simply shows that you have 30 seconds to round up your speech. And then at 2 minutes, you are expected to conclude your speech. However, you are given the grace period of 30 seconds within which you must conclude that speech, else the speech will be cancelled for the purposes of voting. Then for our speakers, all our speakers have the maximum time of 7 minutes to deliver their speech. And at 5 minutes, I will be displaying the green card to show you that you are still within time. At 6 minutes, I will display the yellow card to let you know that you have 1 minute to round up your speech. At 7 minutes, I will display the red card, and you have 30 seconds to quickly round up your speech. If you fail to do so, the speech will be cancelled for purposes of voting. So that is that for my role. Over to you, Chinedu Omenkuku.
Thank you very much, TM Lawrence. You play a very critical part. Please keep us timely for the meeting. We expect the meeting to be pep and timely. The next role or helper I would like to call on the virtual lantern is going to be our R counter. The role of the R counter will be played by TM Shayo Omishore. TM Shayo Omishore joined Toastmasters in April 2020. She is an architect who loves dancing and shopping. So 2 of my deputies today are very great dancers. It means today is going to be very pep and energetic. So please, welcome to the stage, TM Shayo Omishore, the accountant.
Okay, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's good to see you again. I'm going to be your accountant for today's meeting, and as your accountant, I'll be taking use of any overused words. These words are known as pause fillers. They give an impression like the speaker isn't sure of what they're saying. We have them in 2 categories. We have them in words and we have them in sounds. Example of words are let me start again. I'm going to be taking a note of any overused words. These words are known as pause fillers. They give an impression like the speaker isn't sure what they're saying. So we have them in 2 categories. We have them in sounds and we have them in words. Example of words are well, so, you know, as in. And the example of sounds are At the end of today's segment, or at the end of today's meeting, I'll be giving a report of anyone who uses these pause fillers the most. Thank you, and over to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, TM Shayo Omishore. You'll be watching out for our pause fillers. I hope I don't use any. I encourage everybody to also be careful with their pause fillers. So the last but no way the least of those that will be doing the evaluation roles today is the listening evaluator. The listening evaluator for today's meeting is TM Vivian Adi. I'll just keep it as TM Vivian, so I don't murder the name. But TM Vivian is a seasoned TM, quite new, but joined in 2021. She is an astute HR professional who loves traveling, meeting people, and guess what? Dancing. We have a lot of dancers today. So please welcome to the virtual lantern to explain the role of the listening evaluator, TM Vivian. TM Vivian, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, guests. My name is Vivian, TM Vivian Adikanku. I'll be your listening evaluator today. My role is to ensure everyone is listening to the table topics and the entire meeting. And at the end of the meeting, I would ask questions. So I would use that to evaluate if everybody paid attention and to get everything we are doing on the meeting. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, TM Vivian. Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. I want to take a second to share the word of the day. I think there was some technical issues sharing it as at when the grammarian gave her introduction, but this is the word of the day. It's PEP, synonym for energize or enliven. So I would hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. But before I do so, I'd like to encourage everybody to keep the meeting pep and energetic. I will be watching you and evaluating. At the end of the meeting, myself and my team will share reports. Look forward to getting our reports soon. Thank you. Over to you, the Toastmaster, TM Gimba.
Thank you so much. Please, let's give the general evaluator a round of applause. I told you he's going to be lurking behind, making sure everything is in order. And I believe his team are going to pep this meeting today. This is going to be the first of my use of word of the day. Please expect a lot more. Okay. Our next role player today is the table topics mistress. Like I mentioned earlier, the table topics is a session where some Toastmasters are looking forward to and some aren't. It's a session where you get to speak impromptu for a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes. I will call her to the stage for her to give us more understanding of the role and take us through the session. This role is going to be played today by Toastmaster Evaluator Oshodi. She joined Toastmasters in 2021, and she works as a communication officer in a bank. She loves online window shopping, and she speaks fluent French. Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça
Please
va?
welcome Toastmaster Evaluator Oshodi.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the Table Topics session, a session aimed at developing impromptu communication skills. And I tell you, even experienced Toastmasters tremble during this session sometimes. I'm sure that we've all been in situations where we had to speak off the cuff. And I know that some people naturally make a good feast of it, while some do not. And it can be quite disheartening when you do not rise to the occasion. But the good news is that with constant practice, you can always turn the corner. And this platform affords you that opportunity. Guests and Toastmasters alike are allowed to participate in the table topics session. Without further ado, let's get started. But before we dive in, I'd like to give you a heads up. This is not going to be business as usual. I'm going to slightly deviate from the norm just to pep things up a bit. And I mean, we don't want to keep doing the same old, you know? Now, let's start. I need 4 volunteers, only 4 volunteers. You will soon know what I'm up to, but I need 4 volunteers.
I volunteer.
Just 4. Sorry,
I volunteer also.
Okay, do we have 4 people now?
1 more person.
So how many people do we have now?
Yes, we have
two.
1 volunteer. That's Toastmaster Taye.
And Toastmaster
Okay.
John.
And
Okay, so just
Toastmaster
2.
John Onumiya. Okay, we have 2.
Joy.
So we need 2 more volunteers.
There's someone I'm expecting. Oh, yes, I know she's going to volunteer. The queen of table topics, Toastmaster Joy
Indeed.
Cheyenne.
Wale,
Okay.
I think Wale said he volunteered, so I'm not sure.
So, yes,
did you
Wale
volunteer?
Thomas volunteered as well. This is awesome.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have 4 volunteers. Okay, do we have 4 volunteers already?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, perfect. So here's the plan. I'm going to split the 4 volunteers, 4 of you, into 2 teams. And I have 2 questions for the 2 teams. So this is how it's going to flow. The first speaker in either of the team will start speaking for a minute and then hand over the baton to the next speaker in the same team, who will pick up from where the first speaker left off. So just like in a relay race, you know, you do your part and then you hand over to the next speaker. So I hope that is clear and I hope you're ready.
But
Hello?
the topic Is that for a minute or two? Table topic session is usually.
So yeah, it's for 2. So each team is supposed to speak for 2 minutes. Sorry, is it? Sorry, let me understand correctly. Is it the table topic session? Is it 1 minute for each team? Is that how it's supposed to be?
No, usually it's 1 to 2 minutes. So I think if two
okay.
people are speaking, it should be 4 minutes. So one person
4
speaks
minutes,
for a
exactly.
maximum of 2 minutes, and the other person speaks for a maximum of 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we have 2 teams who will speak for 2 minutes, and that means each speaker in each team is supposed to speak for 1 minute. So team A will speak for the first speaker will speak for 1 minute, and the second speaker for 1 minute as well. So I encourage you to align.
I think you need 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Hello?
One speaker speaks for 2 minutes, then the other one speaks for 2 minutes.
Oh,
minimum
2 minutes.
Of 1 minute. Minimum of 1 minute, and the maximum of 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, for purposes, of timing, sorry.
You're mute.
Tim Lawrence.
You are muted, Lawrence. Tim Lawrence, you are muted, please.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay. For purposes of timing, each speaker is allotted 2 minutes. That's his time to speak. So let's be clear on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first speakers have 2 minutes each to speak. Thanks for the clarification.
A point of clarification as well. Sorry, please. Sorry, you have not chosen the team yet. You don't know which one is team A, which one is team B. Can you do that, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for team A, we have hold on, please. We have Taye, Joy, John Wale, and TM.
I think the first team is Taye and John, and the second team is Taye and Joy.
Oh, apologies. Sorry. I mixed it up. Sorry, apologies. Okay, so team A. In team A, we have Taye and John, and team B, we have John and Wale. Let me repeat. First team, team A, Taye and Joy, and second team, we have John and Wale. So Taye and John and Wale, I encourage you to align so that you decide amongst yourself who the first speaker will be.
Okay. Master, you keep missing John and Joy. So clarify, is John with Wale or is John with
Joy?
Taye?
Sorry, Taye and Joy. Joy, J-O-Y, Joy. And then John and Wale, team B.
And Wale.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So for team A, let me repeat myself. Team A, we have Taye and Joy. And in team B, we have John and Wale. So I hope you have decided who the first speaker will be and who the second will be.
I'll go first. Typically, you let the best person come last in a relay.
Yeah. So my first question for team A. Tell us about the earliest moment of your life. I mean,
sorry,
tell us about the earliest moment of your life. When is it now? I mean, did you just decide to maybe start eating LD? Were there challenges you faced that made you reach that decision and so forth? So just tell us about the earliest moment of your life. You have 2 minutes to speak, and then the second speaker in your team will continue from where you stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that question.
Tim Taye's screen is frozen, so I think I'll just start and then he'll pick up. Or do we want the other team to start?
Boom, just go ahead. Enjoy, we've wasted time. Let's move on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. The question is, I should tell you about the healthiest moment in my life. The healthiest moment in my life was in 2019, which was 2 years ago. And it was one year where I had the most surreal emotions inside of myself. First of all, I needed to undergo a surgery, and that surgery was one that I'd heard so many things about. I mean, you hear that people want to go through a fibroid surgery and they don't come out of the theater. So at this moment, in preparing me for that surgery, my doctor told me that I needed to start eating very healthy. And I love, for a lot of people who don't know what ewa going is, it's like local beans and palm oil. I had to do away with my ewa going. I had to do away with soda. I had to do away with all the burgers and meat pies and all whatnot in that period. So coming after the surgery, I realized that, I mean, I've been eating clean. I could see a lot of changes in my body. And I started to ask myself this question: do I want to go back to the junk food? Do I want to go back to the lifestyle that I had before the surgery? The clean eating that I had inculcated before that surgery helped me with my recovery. It helped getting my body back into shape. And I noticed that a lot of the clothes that I used to wear that were very tight now became loose on me. So you could imagine that I've gotten to a fork in the road. Do I turn left and go back to my junk food? Or do I turn right and continue with the healthy eating that I'd already started? It was at this point that I stopped for a second and I asked myself, Joy, it is time to hand over the baby to your team member.
Business and everything.
Temtaya appears to be struggling with his internet, so I will just continue if the table topics master permits me. Temtaya, are you ready?
I is in the house.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'm sure we enjoyed that story from TM Joy Cheyenne, and I can totally relate. When we speak about healthy eating, one unique question I always ask myself is, why are the sweetest thing hard to take on a consistent basis, and the healthier things, right, more difficult or more expensive to kind of eat? This really aligns with all different side of our lives, right? One important part of it being how to discipline. The good things in life usually are not the things that come easy, right? And they are not they are things that require us to take our time and take a step back, discipline ourselves, and do things in moderation. It also applies in the eating. So if I were to answer that question directly, I would say I'm not at the most healthiest part of my life yet, right? I believe that it's a progressive, because I still like eating junk food once in a while. And where I am now, right, I try my best, right, to take healthy foods here and there, right? You got there, parfait here, to watch the portion, the portion of food that I take. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I'm making progress there every day. And like I said, I began with discipline really is what it all boils down to. How to learn how to manage exactly what you're looking to do, right? What the kind of body I wish I would have, right? I'm one of those that don't particularly see the point in a six-pack, because I think it's not too sustainable. But I also believe that it's very, very important to keep healthy, keep fit, play sports, and that's what I'm looking to do. I intend to pick up squash. I intend to watch the food I eat, and hopefully, right, my body thanks me for it in the next coming decades. Thank you very much.
Thank you, TM Joy and TM, sorry, forgotten your name, and TM Chai. Yeah, that was a very good one. Although that's not what I had in mind. It was supposed to be like a story arc where one starts the story and then another person ends that same story. you're not supposed to tell different stories, but it's fine. You all did well, and I'm glad to enjoy that. At least that moment when you had to start eating healthy was a defining moment for you, and you decided to go that route and to stay there, stick to healthy eating, and that's a very good decision. I won't lie, I just started myself because I need to lose weight. You can see my cheeks. Okay, so and TM Taye, good one. Thank you for that speech. So we move on to the next team, and it's just the converse of the first term topic. Team B, tell us the unhealthiest moment of your life. The unhealthiest moment of your life. Thank you.
The unhealthiest moment of your life. Health is the state of mind, your physical being, and also your body. And what you take into your body determines how far your health, which is psychological, physical. Also note that the food that we take in determines how much we also live on this part of the world. Health is wealth, and health is life. I remember growing up, I was born into a polygamous family, and I grew up in the midst of chaos and degradation. I remember going to school. I walked down the rail to get to my school, and I see a lot of junks, a lot of death on the road. But thank God to my mother, she nurtured me and tends me with care at home. Till in the morning, she prepared my food for me, soft food, and I would take them to school. That nurtured me and gave me sound mind and sound health. Remembered when you were growing up too, most of us like to eat junk food, but we don't know the ripple effect it will have on our body. Can you imagine feeding a baby with real meal, like pounded yam? The system cannot digest it. The same thing applies to our life. I'm relating it to the food, and I'm relating it to what you read and take into your heart. Remember, whatever you hear, whatever you see, enters your heart. Whatever enters your heart, enters your life. The same thing applies to food. Fellow Toastmasters, guests in the house, mind what you eat determines how long you live on this planet Earth. Also remember, what you take in as information, which pertains to your life as well, so that you can add value to us who are living in this world. Remember, there's a roaring lion inside of you that is trying to find expression. So whatever you take in will determine what you give out. Thank you. Take a topic, Pastor.
I would have to say it was the final year in secondary school. As I said earlier, my mom was the one who always prepared food for us. That was the unhealthiest point of my life. That final term in secondary school, I was always someone that was pepped up when I go to class. Everyone would turn to me. John is the one that will give you energy. But for a period of, guess what? First, I stopped exercising because I was waking up late. There was this horrible show I kept watching late at night. Horrible. And for some reason, my mom kept on making what? Swallow, swallow, swallow. Dear Toastmasters and guests, I was a sportsman before this point, but that 1 month, I was not pepped up. My energy kept going down. And before this time, I rarely ever felt sick. I'm supposed to be regularly. How often I exercised and the type of I was very strong. Hence, I could pep up other people. But that month I stopped exercising, that month I was eating swallow, that month I was sleeping late, up to school, that was the unhealthiest moment of my life. It affected me mentally, it affected me physically, and it affected my classmates. Can you imagine when John was the one that peps you up? What happens when you see him and he's not energetic? That's what happened to my class. That class, 6A, that was always the best, it now became the worst. But after I saw what transpired that 1 month, the moment of life, things turned around. I spoke to my mom, please, mom, I want to live to be 80, 90, 100. Started Dear Toastmasters and guests, with confidence, I can say in the last 20 years, I've only once. All due to that one experience of the unhealthiest moment of my life. Over to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Team V. That was a very good one. I now return control of the meeting to Toastmaster Abubakar, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics Master. Let's give her a round of applause. She definitely pepped the meeting, along with the other participants rather. Mr. Timer, have all our speakers kept to time?
Yes, all kept to time.
Okay, thank you very much. Please let us vote. The poll should be appearing any minute now. While we do, let me introduce the Table Topics Evaluator. Toastmaster Samson Faladay is a seasoned speaker who won Best Speaker and other awards. He is also a banker who loves to read and listen to people.
Yes.
Toastmaster Samson is someone I respect a lot. I look forward to listening to your evaluations. Are you there? Aha, I can see you. Okay. In
All right, good afternoon.
5 seconds. Yes, please, you can take over.
All right, so I'll proceed. So good morning, Toastmasters, Table Topic Masters, and everyone that has contributed to this Table Topic session. I think it's been a wonderful Table Topic session, and I love the fact that it was a deviation from the norm. And of course, a relay session where one person starts and the other person picks up. So it emphasizes on the need to actually be able to, I think it emphasizes more on your spontaneity and now you need to be able to team up with others. But just to, I love the dimension the Table Topic Master came from, but just a little bit of recommendation. When you're doing something out of the norm like this, one, you need to be very prepared and you need to factor in the peculiarities of what you're going to do, because at the point we are struggling to understand how this was going to go ahead or how we are going to go forward with this particular session. But it was a wonderful session. So I will go into the table topic session itself. I think it started with telling us about the healthiest moment of your life. The first team, which was supposed to start with Toastmaster Taye, but of course he had his own challenges, which made Toastmaster John pick up. I love the fact that she was spontaneous. She was able to pick up despite the fact that she was expecting somebody else to start. And the way she walked into that particular session was amazing. Had good storyline, dates, and it was a story we all could relate with. I love the fact that she used good words, wonderful words like surreal, fork in the road. I think it was so picturesque. It made us understand, or actually, she walked us through that process we had, and we could actually relate with it. And I think the most important part for her speech for me was the transition. Her transmission was quite smooth because she was at the point when she wanted to move over, she said she was handing over the baton to the second speaker. And of course, I think the table topic master has mentioned it for Toastmaster Taye. The transition was okay, but again, probably because of the disconnection or because he didn't get that message as it was supposed to be. He totally started a different storyline, but he handled it well. He actually outlined the benefit of being a healthy, and I think what I felt he could have done in that regard was probably to tell us another story. Yes, he said there was no point. I mean, he was still into junk food, but I think to actually address the question, it would have been easier for him to give us a story, either factual or fiction. It will probably make the conversation even more interesting. So what do I feel he could have done better? I think pauses would have been more employed to give credence or more value to the speech. And I think the word of the day was not used effectively by Team A. So I think I should point that out. So for Team B, I'll quickly run through on LDS moment. Wale was quite prepared. I love his dressed. He was wearing an Arsenal jersey. So you know that for somebody that is wearing Arsenal jersey, he's always prepared. Please, pun intended. But he stood up. He was quite prepared. Body gestures, storytelling skills, wonderful. His voice variation, pauses was wonderful. The use of words, in fact, it stimulated our imagination. You see, imagine feeding a baby with pounded yam. I think that was quite imaginative. Then he told us about benefits. But one thing I feel he could have done better, of course, was the transition. He ended that particular story, he ended the particular session for his own, which would have, he should have simply handed over the baton to the next speaker. I think that was one thing he failed to do. But again, on the flip side, Toastmaster John, being a veteran, he handled it quite well. Like he was ready, he came up with a separate story, and he was at the same time, he was able to even link that story with the particular topic. Final year in school, he told us a story of how the unhealthy moment during that period. And one thing I think I loved about his speech was the voice, the confidence in his speech, and the fact that he even used the word of the day several times. I think he probably used the quota for everybody in the speech. So I think that was quite wonderful. One thing I felt he could have done better was at some point he was calling some words that I assumed we knew what it meant. Like he was saying, I'm AA. Well, I know most of us probably know what AA means, but at least for the benefit of others who might not know, you might want to explain what that, if it means maybe genotype or whatever, let us know that that is what you are referring to. Then swallow as well. I think you can be a little bit more descriptive when you are mentioning that, because it can be anything for anybody. But overall, it was a very good speech. And I think your conclusion was wonderful. And generally, I think the session was quite wonderful. It was something out of the ordinary, and I think it's something that we can always try to explore from time to time. So generally, everybody did fantastically well, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much. Please let's give Toastmaster Samson a round of applause. That was a wonderful evaluation of the whole session. He definitely pepped up the meeting as well. We've come to the end of the table topics. If this was the appetizer, now we are going for the main course. You see, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to start the prepared speeches segment. We're supposed to go on a break, but because of time, we won't. So I apologize for that. Perhaps we can make some arrangements towards the end of the meeting. I would also like at this point to mention that the division director, distinguished Toastmaster Chidi, is here with us today. She will be visiting us officially. Also, the area director, Toastmaster John Onumiya, is here today, visiting us officially. This is a double dose for us. So please let us bring our A game. Let us be professional. Let us impress them so that at the end of the mandate, when the district director asks them, which is the best club in your division, they will not hesitate to say, oh, we have to actually, the Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. And then the district director will say, even better than indigenous clubs? Then they will say, yes. And our next meeting, they will not be here. So we can misbehave. Okay, so let's start. Evaluators, please get the speech objectives ready. Because of time, I would call you to mention the objectives for us, and I will introduce the speaker so that we can get a good flow and get the prepared speeches done and dusted on time. Our first speaker today, actually, she called earlier. She said she had a bit of an emergency, so she would like to speak so that she would go and come back for her evaluations. So instead of starting with the supposed Toastmaster Chris, I would like to apologize for that. We will have Toastmaster Chinyere give the first speech. Toastmaster Chinyere, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you very much. You will be evaluated by Toastmaster Philip Obi. Toastmaster Philip.
Yes.
Can you please give us the speech objective of Toastmaster Chinyere Emeka's speech today?
Yes, the objectives of Toastmaster Chinyere's speech are to, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech.
Thank you so much, Mr. Evaluator. Toastmaster Chinyere is an entrepreneur who joined Toastmasters in January 2020. She enjoys discovering new things on the internet, and she loves meeting people. She will be speaking from the Pathway Innovative Planning Level 1 Project 2. The speech category is Evaluation and Feedback Project A, and her speech title is Avoiding Procrastination. Avoiding Procrastination, Toastmaster Chinyere Emeka.
Okay, thank you, TM Abubakar. Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Avoiding procrastination. Recent studies have shown that people regret more of the things they have not put into action than those things they have actualized. It is also said that the feeling of guilt and regret that stemmed from missed opportunities are likely to remain for a longer period of time. Procrastination is a dangerous thing, which majority of us experience very regularly, either writing that course, going for that important trip, or taking up that course that would help in career development. Taking up that course that would help in career development. Generally speaking, procrastination is a lack of willpower to follow through one's plan or goal during a specific period of time. The reason for procrastination vary differently from person to person, some of which include decision paralysis, ignoring the value of time, lack of self-discipline, to mention but a few. However, it should be realized that procrastination does not necessarily equal laziness. A lazy person does not have the intent or desire of accomplishing any task, whereas a procrastinator has the desire and will of accomplishing tasks, though reluctantly. Take, for instance, a lady has a list of things she needs to accomplish before the week runs out. Else, there will be dire consequences resulting from her action. She's expected to water her plants, take her grandmother to the hospital, buy groceries for the home, study for a professional exam coming up, raise bank drafts for her school fees, groom her hair for an interview coming up the following week, and launder her piled up clothes. She eagerly wants to achieve all this, but she's confused on how to begin. This will definitely lead to procrastination. To avoid procrastinating, she must first of all identify what a personal vision really is. This will serve as a tool to enable her understand a basic necessity. By doing this, she would have a clear picture of what she wants to achieve that week. Thus, a priority would be in order. If all this is followed up accordingly, she will naturally self-discipline follow. Secondly, she must write a to-do list, a short list containing everything she wants to achieve in a day. Yes, a day. Not those elongated lists that overwhelms you. You know, issues are better solved taken in bits. If this is done, she'll be able to organize herself effectively and also minimize mental and physical fatigue. Finally, she must have a time for herself. She must set a time for herself. This will enable her assess her achievements and plan ahead. You can call this the me time. This final approach is as important as the two mentioned above because it encourages personal growth and focus. In conclusion, there is a general misconception about working better under pressure. We tend to blame our lateness, negligence on the fact there wasn't enough pressure to motivate us to do our work. This is a myth. Leaving out things until the very last minute brings guilt, incompetency, and negligence. A wise word to end this would be, don't wait until the last minute to do what you can do today. The Toastmasters. About to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, that was wonderful. Please give her a round of applause. If you know you procrastinate, give her a round of applause. That means I expect everybody to give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. Our next speaker, according to the order of speaking today, is Toastmaster Victoria Okoye. Toastmaster Victoria Okoye will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Kayode Yusuf. Distinguished Toastmaster Kayode, can you please give us the speech objective of Toastmaster Victoria's speech?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Toastmaster Victoria this morning has a purpose statement to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. She has 4 to 6 minutes to do this, and I look forward to listening to you, Toastmaster Victoria.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kayode, distinguished Toastmaster Kayode. Toastmaster Victoria Okoye is a technical account manager who loves watching movies. One interesting fact about her is that she replaces anything before it finishes. Anything. Toastmaster Okoye will be speaking from the pathway Innovative Planning, Level 1, Project 1, the Icebreaker. And her speech title is, Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker? Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker? Toastmaster Victoria Okoye. You're muted.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar, for the introduction. The title of my speech is Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker? To be bold is to set fear behind you. This is a quote by Baron Pulsifer, a famous motivational speaker and seminar leader. And this was the quote that kept ringing in my ears that fateful Monday morning when my ex-boss asked the famous question, Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker? Hello, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and welcomed guests on the call. I am so pepped to be giving my icebreaker speech. But before I start, I would like to say a big thank you to TM Abubakar, TM Jules, TM Queen, and my mentors. Before I get to the story behind my speech title, let me tell you some things about myself. My name is Victoria Okoye, recently Aninihu, and I work as Technical Account Manager at Flutterwave. Although smart, driven, intelligent, ambitious, disciplined, I am sometimes plagued with immense panic attacks during speaking. As a child, I was usually picked for debates, competitions, and different extracurricular activities. A lot of adults, teachers, and tutors found my personality very interesting, and hence I was focal point for things like this. I'm sure they thought intelligence equated fluency. I wish they were right. At the age of 13, I got picked again to participate in a debate representing Effort Secondary School. And if you know Effort Secondary School in this part of the world, you will realize that they have different schools in different parts of the country. So when I stepped up the podium to give my perfectly rehearsed piece, I froze. because there were over 2,000 pairs of eyes looking at me. Those eyes felt like hot iron piercing through my skin, and I froze. Everywhere was silent. If a plane was to drop in that room that day, I'm sure you'd have heard the sound. My heart started racing so quickly, and I could barely breathe. In the midst of my turmoil, I heard a reverberating sound from the audience. It was a round of applause from over 2,000 people. And that was the cue I needed to commence my speech, which I successfully completed. That moment taught me that stage fright was a real thing, and I knew in my heart that I needed help. In my past place of employment, everybody knew me as the shy, newly employed NYSC graduate trainee. I always put in all the energy behind the scenes, but I was never confident enough to come out where the action was happening. It was usually nerve-wracking, sweaty palms, shaky legs, teary eyes. But one fateful Monday morning, after receiving a dose of inspiration and motivation, I mustered the courage to be part of the presentation team. I prepared like I had several years ago at the debate, and I put in my best. When I finished delivering the presentation that day, my boss could not hold his excitement down. The prim and proper man did not know when he exclaimed, "Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker?" Of course, I did not swallow loudspeaker, as you can see. That experience again taught me something, that I can get it right. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I do not get it right. Tough struggle, I must say. But I wouldn't want to hinge my career on a 50% chance. What if the pilot of your plane tells you that he has 50% chance of flying you to your destination? Would you still travel? You see, in my role as a technical account manager, I get to interact with clients, collaborators, cross-functional teams. Feedback and communication stand out as one of the top skills of a TAM. During the course of my journey here at Toastmasters, I want to improve my chances of speaking to more than 50%. I want to effectively anchor meetings, give impromptu speeches, share my ideas, and handle my colleagues at work. Although it took me 10 years and more years during my career life to get to this point, but voila, here we are. I would say that Byron's quote that said, "To be bold is to set fear behind you," is incomplete. I would like to add to it that to be bold is to set fear behind you and move in the right direction. So this is me looking forward to, I'm moving in the right direction, of course, to more engaging speeches, more presentations, and more exclamations of, "Victoria, did you swallow loudspeaker?" Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please let us give Toastmaster Victoria a round of applause. I don't think this is an icebreaker. I think she has been speaking before at somewhere, and now she's disguising as an icebreaker.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That was pepping or pepperish. Our next speaker today is Toastmaster Tessie, another icebreaker. Wow, this is our lucky day. 2 icebreakers today. You see, an icebreaker is very exciting because we get to see a speaker speak for the very first time. And later or 1 year later, we get to see them grow, and we appreciate that journey. Toastmaster Tessie today will be evaluated by a visiting Toastmaster, the great Toastmaster Komiyu. Toastmaster Komiyu, can you please give us the speech objective of Toastmaster Tessie's speech?
Thank you, TM Gimba. Thank you. Good day, Toastmasters and lovely guests. Today, TM Tessie will be giving our icebreaker speech, and the objective of her speech is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. TM Tessie, I can't wait to listen to your speech. Do break a leg. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Komito. Toastmaster Tessie.
Yes.
Please, I need to get your profile quickly. She's a HR manager who loves fishing, but doesn't get to do it as often as she would love to. She joined Toastmasters in 2020. Toastmaster Tessie will be speaking from the pathway Innovative Planning, and this is her icebreaker, level 1, project 1. Her speech title is Growing Through the Speech. Growing Through the Speech, Toastmaster Tessie Edewo.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. It is interesting to note that while some people are good with one-on-one conversations, others struggle with group interactions and presentations. My name is Tessie, and I joined Toastmasters to improve my public speaking and presentation style. Today, I'll be discussing growing through the speech. I find it strange that a person can enjoy giving speeches, but be frightened at the same time. When you are told there is an upcoming speech and you have a bittersweet feeling, excited about the opportunity and worried about your ability to speak. Heart pounding, hands sweating, voice shaking as the moment for the speech draws nearer, but accelerated after each speech is presented. What would you call that? I would say this happens to at least 60% of presenters, and some will argue 80%. But it is always interesting to see people push through even when nervous. From watching those who are struggling to those who speak eloquently, and the pep reaction of the audience, nodding their heads in agreement and applauding in delight after the end of each speech. In my journey of observation, I have come to learn that growing through the speech is a journey. You can enjoy conversations and struggle with presentation when speaking engagements occur. However, through this journey, Toastmasters is here to hold your hand as we seek progress and not perfection. Thank you. Thank you. I'll hand over to TM Gimba.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. That was peppery. Me, I hope I'm using this words right. Grammarian. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tessie. I've known you, I've seen you play the R counter role before, and I knew we have a potential here. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Joy. Toastmaster Joy, correct me if I am wrong.
The first speaker, Victoria.
It's supposed to be you according to agenda, you then Chris and Aile, but I wanted to confirm if that's how it's supposed to be.
But it's okay, I'm number 4.
Okay. Okay. Toastmaster Joy will be evaluated today by Toastmaster John Olumiya. Toastmaster John, can you please give us the speech objective of Toastmaster Joy?
Absolutely, Toastmaster Abubakar. The speech objectives of Toastmaster Joy's speech are for her to apply leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce her plan and vision. Toastmaster Joy, I am ready to be pepped up. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster John, our area director. Toastmaster Joy Cheyenne is the current VPE of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club. She is an LPG enthusiast, and she is committed to empowering women through clean energy advocacy. She loves traveling and reading. Toastmaster Joy will be speaking today from the Pathway Innovative Planning, Level 5, Project 1. Yes, Level 5, Project 1. And the speech title is Lighthouse Body Project. Lighthouse Body Project, Toastmaster Joy Cheyenne.
Good morning, or is it good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests? Can you please confirm that you can all see my screen? Great. Have you ever been part of a group, but not a part of that group? Everyone is talking about who got evicted from the Big Brother house the night before. And no one seems to notice that you just dyed your hair blonde. Being the Vice President Education at Lighthouse Toastmasters has given me a new perspective about public speaking. I find that your mental health is directly proportional to how well you can think, write, and give a speech. A lot of people struggle with emotional issues, financial issues, and because of that, they are not operating at the level which they should. And what is the use of a safe place when people cannot be vulnerable? At this point, I would like to make a quick diversion and thank all the people who worked with me on this project. Toastmaster Rotimi, Toastmaster Tessie, Toastmaster Queen, Toastmaster Loveth, thank you all for your time. Now back to the project. I would like to introduce to you an application that I have called, or we have called, the Lighthouse Body Application. And it is simply an app that allows members to bond with one another beyond the formality of preparing a speech and sending it to your mentor and the mentor sending it back to you. A buddy is like a Man Friday, a person who shows you the ropes and tells you all of the unwritten rules within a club. And I know you're already thinking, a mentor does that already. And I'll be the first to admit that while we were talking about this in the committee, this question came up. So I'll very quickly tell you the difference between the two. Now, your mentor is very committed to your professional growth. However, your body shows you the operational intricacies. The bottom line is that your body is not really committed to your professional development. That's not the bottom line. And if that is not the bottom line, why is it then important? Bodies help members meet everyone, understand the club culture, and how to do the basics. Believe it or not, we have Toastmasters who have been here for over 1 year, but find it extremely overwhelming navigating through pathways. And that is one of the things that a body should be able to help you to do. After all, it's in the little things, even sharing their own awkward public speaking moments. The body would also help members discover shared interests. You'd all agree with me that in the fragile world that we live in, and with mental health at its weakest, having a body within your Toastmasters community would help to strengthen the unity, creating a win-win for both mental and professional growth. So how is this going to work? I'm sure you can all see my beautifully designed screen. So first of all, you have to download the application and create a profile, which automatically tells whoever is within that space how you're feeling. So on a day when I'm feeling, excuse me, bright and shiny, I could say, oh, let's engage on White Money or any of those actors within the Big Brother Naija house. On a day when I'm feeling blue, I'm like, look, please just don't come near me. But the idea is, on a day when you're feeling dejected, I would be able to say, I need to connect with this person and I know how best to approach. So like I said before, you need to download the app, you need to create a profile. And when your membership is confirmed, you'll be assigned a buddy and bingo. So you would have a primary buddy and you will have other buddies that you can add, just like the way they do in the Ponzi schemes. So as with every new thing, we would have a pilot program and we welcome everyone to come and test this new application. In addition, excuse me, we would be soliciting a lot of feedback because we expect people to say, oh, why doesn't he have this? Why doesn't he have that? So you are welcome. We're open to receiving a lot of feedback on this project. Last but not the least, we need a lot of people. We need more people to volunteer. We need people in the IT space. We need people in the medical space. So it is my hope, it is our hope that this buddy application would not just be a one-off thing, it would become a lifestyle thing, and it would help to build a community that is not just speech-based and they're more emotional connections within the group. So like they usually say in the YouTube videos, if you like this video, please hit the like button down there, leave a comment. Don't forget to share with all your friends. I hope you have totally enjoyed listening to this presentation. And please don't fail to leave a comment, send me a feedback, and I look forward to sharing this application with all of the members. So thank you once again for listening, and I look forward to engaging with all of you in the future.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. Thank you very much, that was wonderful. And this brings us to our last speaker, Toastmaster Chris Anaile. Toastmaster Chris, you will be evaluated by Toastmaster Abdullahi Jima. Toastmaster Abdullahi, can you please give us the objective of Toastmaster Chris's speech?
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, good afternoon. Toastmaster Chris will deliver a speech from the Strategic Relationships part, Level 1, Project 2, Breaking the Cycle. His speech objective, the purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Breaking the cycle, Toastmaster Chris. Please break the cycle and break a leg.
Sorry, TM Jimo, how many minutes is this speech supposed to last? How many minutes is this speech supposed to last?
5 to 7 minutes.
7 minutes, please.
Okay, great.
5 to 7 minutes.
Great.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullahi, for your information. That is my PQD for Division F. Toastmaster Chris joined Toastmasters in January 2020, but he's been a guest for much longer. He is a sales professional who loves swimming, traveling, and reading. One of these days, I'll come up with a reading club because all these people that like reading, you will come and read to us. Toastmaster Chris will be speaking from the pathway Strategic Relationships. This is Level 1, Project 2A, Evaluation and Feedback, and the speech title is Breaking the Cycle. Toastmaster Chris, Breaking the Cycle.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you so much, TM Gimba, for that warm introduction. Breaking the cycle. I read these words somewhere before, that the legacy of bad parenting is another generation. The legacy of toxic parenting is another generation of toxic parents. That gave me a deja vu moment. A time for me to reflect and think about my own journey. I remember growing up as a kid. I remember always not feeling inadequate because for everything that you do, you either get flogged if you're from this part of the world, or you get spoken to in ways that will make you question even your own ability. I remember how much that affected me as time went on, affected my self-esteem, how I saw myself, and the kind of things I could do. I remember vouching and saying to myself that if I become a parent, that I will make sure to not do these same things to my children, that I will act in ways that would not make them feel the same way that I am feeling at the moment. Fast forward some years after that time,
Mr. Chris, are you there? Mr. Chris, Mr. Lawrence, let's please pause his timing.
hello, sorry for that. I guess it was network issues or something.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Fast forward 7, 8, 10 years later, and now the roles have changed. I am no longer that little powerless, helpless child that felt that way that I felt, but now I am the big brother that has all of the power. And then my younger brother came and stayed with me. Remember, like I said, while a child, I promised myself and I said that if I ever become, or when I become a parent, that I will not treat my children the same way. I would not want them to feel the way I was feeling at that moment. But guess what happened? I acted the same way. I beat up my brother. I spoke to him anyhow. I was very, very angry at him, even at little things that he did. And this got me thinking that what happened? How did I go from being that person that wanted to do different to now being the one that did the same thing that was done to me? I spoke to some friends and some relative, and then I got answers like, oh, now you are a guardian, and now you can understand how your parents felt. And now you can understand why they behaved the way they behaved. But somewhere in me, I knew that was wrong, that I'm now a parent and I understand what they went through does not change the fact of how I felt when it was done to me. And it got me thinking, and I went ahead and got some solutions. And what is these solutions, which I'll recommend here today? Number one is that find out these old patterns, because sometimes some of them are automatic, some of them are very, very automatic. There are ways that because you have been taught or you have been used to this type of treatment, that you then go ahead to act the same way. Find out these patterns and then break them. How do you break them?
Let's give Toastmaster Chris a second. Timer, let us please pause his timing. We cannot miss the end of this speech. Toastmaster Chris, you better come back. We lost him.
And he has spoken for 4 minutes, 46 seconds.
4 minutes, 46 seconds. Okay. Okay, I promise you guys I will get the rest of his speech, even if it means I post it online. But we have lost him and we have to move on with the meeting. I would like to thank him formally. That was wonderful. If this man wasn't a sales professional, he probably would have been a boxer, because at the beginning of this speech, I was just glad this is virtual. At this point, we would head over to the evaluation segment. But before we do that, I want to quickly recognize the presence of some big people here today. For example, the distinguished Toastmaster Rashida Saliu Bello, our club body, is here. Our immediate past president, Toastmaster Francis, is here. And our immediate past area director is here, Toastmaster Francis, and our current area director, Toastmaster John, is here today. Wow, this is fun. Toastmaster Ned, you are our general evaluator. Are you available to take over the session for evaluations?
Yes, Tim Gimba, I am available.
Okay, please let's start the evaluation session. You have control.
I think we need to vote first. We need to vote before the evaluations, right?
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but Toastmaster President said there will be no votes today. Toastmaster Larry, should we vote for the prepared speeches? He is not here. He instructed that there is no voting today.
Yes, I also got that instruction. I think because we're pressed for time, the president has advised we move on and skip the votes.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, there will be no voting today, so please take control.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Tim Gimba. I want to use this opportunity to applaud all the speakers today. Your speeches were pep, they were energetic, they were, some of the icebreakers didn't sound like icebreakers, but I have an able team of evaluators to help us dissect each and every speech. I will start with the first speech, which was the speech by TM Chinyere. The evaluator was TM Philip Obi. A brief bio on TM Philip Obi before I call him to share his evaluation of that speech. TM Philip is the past president of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club. He is a senior commercial manager. He has won numerous awards, such as Area 18 Table Topics winner and Area 18 Evaluation Context winner. He loves playing and watching basketball and also watching movies. Very, very pep profile. So please call in on the virtual lantern, TM Philip Obi, to evaluate TM Chinyere Emeka's speech.
Thank you, my namesake. Thank you, thank you, Chinyere, for that great speech. I remember the first time you came to a Toastmasters meeting, and I see your growth from that point up till now. The purpose of this speech was to deliver a speech and then get feedback. So I'll talk about some of the things I thought you did well and some of the things I would like for you to improve upon when you give the next speech. So you did deliver a well-structured speech. Your speech had an opening, body, and conclusion. And in terms of, since we are in this virtual world, I like the background that you used to deliver the speech. It was inviting, it was clear, it was well-lit background, and I thought it enhanced your delivery of the speech. And your diction was clear, like your voice was very audible. I didn't hear, it was easy for me to understand the flow of your speech because your voice was audible, right? Then in terms of like the topic that you chose to speak on, you chose a topic that almost every human can relate to, procrastination, right? So because of the topic that you chose and the title, very straight to the point, everybody was able to relate to your speech from the start of your speech, right? So those are the things that you did well. Congratulate you for doing that. So now I guess to the point is things I thought you could maybe have done slightly better to help the consumption of your speech from the audience perspective. The first thing is, like I mentioned earlier, that you chose a speech topic that everybody could relate to, procrastination. And in order for people to remember your speech, is good to use stories. I thought that you kind of missed an opportunity to enhance your speech with a story. You tried to use a story, but you didn't make it like a story. I don't know if that kind of makes any sense. Like you could have, everybody has a procrastination story, right? So the best way to make something memorable a lot of times is to make it personal. So I thought you missed an opportunity to make this speech more memorable by going personal, using a personal procrastination story. That would really have kept, made it something that people will remember. Like a year later, they'll be like, oh, that's your speech on procrastination. I still remember it, right? The next thing is your voice was audible, but I thought that you had the same tone and cadence the whole time for the whole speech. So there are opportunities for you to vary your pitch, your tone, and your rhythm during the speech to draw people in at various points of your speech. And the last piece was, I thought that you gave some quotes, but I don't think you really stated where your source was for those quotes. So those are the three things I think you can work on: using anecdotes, quoting your speeches, your sources, and last but not the least, varying the pitch and rhythm of your voice throughout the speech. But thank you for a well thought out and delivered speech, TM Chinyere.
Thank you, Toastmaster Philip, for that wonderful evaluation. Now, communication just in that we are actually supposed to vote for the prepared speeches. The no voting instruction was for the table topics. So I would please like to crave your indulgence to vote for the prepared speeches at this point, even though it's unorthodox, but let us please vote quickly. The polls are on your screen. You should be seeing them right about now.
Please, before we vote,
30 seconds.
Before we vote, I just want to make a comment that one of the speakers cannot stand in to be counted for the vote. That is TM Tesi Edewo. She spoke for 1 minute 55 seconds. She's expected to have spoken for 4 minutes at least to be counted for the vote, but she spoke for 1 minute 55 seconds. So she's excluded,
okay.
I believe.
Thank you very much. Let us please exclude Toastmaster Tesi Edewo from the voting. Toastmasters is not harsh. Toastmasters is just preparing us for contests. This is the standard. And the polls are over. Okay. Our next speaker today will be the evaluator of Toastmaster Victoria Okoye's speech. Toastmaster Ned, please take control.
Okay, thank you, TM Gimba. The evaluator for TM Victoria is TM Kayode Yusuf. TM Kayode Yusuf has a long resume. I dare not, and I may never be able to exhaust this achievement, but TM Kayode is a passionate, TM Kayode Yusuf is a passionate Toastmaster. He is currently the finance manager for District 97. He loves adventurous travels and meeting new people. DTM Kayode Yusuf, please come on the virtual lantern and evaluate TM Victoria Okoye. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chinedu. It's also wonderful for me to be here. And congratulations, Toastmaster Victoria. I must start by commending that very beautiful speech that you had just done. Your speech this morning had just one objective, and that was for you to stand in front of an audience to speak, and also to take into cognizance a speech structure. I am happy to mention to you that this morning, you stood virtually in front of several people, maybe not up to 2,000 people, but yes, you did speak, and you spoke beautifully well. And most importantly, you had an excellent speech structure that actually connected to each other. I like the chronological way with which you arranged your speech. You started with something you thought was a problem for you and how you faced that problem in primary school and how it moved on to secondary school, despite the fact that you are a beautiful and brilliant lady. But you did mention that brilliancy, it's not the same as fluency. And this followed you to your NYSC, which meant that you obviously had gone to a university. And after NYSC, it also showed us that you're working as a young professional. That was a beautiful speech structure. I must also commend your interesting title, Victoria, Did You Swallow the Speaker? When I read about this, I was looking forward to your speech, and I'm happy that I was not disappointed. I liked the way you brought your title into your speech. So somewhere in your speech, not even somewhere, in two places, you did bring up the Victoria, Did You Swallow Speaker? I loved that. Your speech had clarity. I did not in any way struggle to understand what you were saying, how you were saying it. You were clear, direct. I liked that. Your hand gestures were good. So in the virtual world, it's usually difficult to bring gestures into what you're talking about. But I liked that despite that we're virtual, I could see your hand play. And I also saw the lovely gem that you had on your left hand. Congratulations. I liked your play of words. I guess they thought intelligence equals fluency. I wish they were right. Hot iron piercing through my skin. If a pin were to drop in that room, I'm sure you would hear it. Beautiful play on words. I love the quotes that you also used in the speech. Room for improvement. For a beautiful speech as this, I would love to see some audience engagement. A good way would be for you to ask people to use emojis or to type yes in the chat box. In real life, as I'm sure we'll be getting into real life very soon, it would be also beautiful for you to ask questions and ask people to raise up their hands to confirm or to affirm what it is that you have asked. Also, when next you do a speech like this is not the time for you to thank people, because one of the things I want to do is to eliminate jargons, things that do not add to your speech. You thank some people, maybe they encourage you to do the speech, but this is not the time for you to actually do that. And I'll tell you something, you were very inspiring this morning. You sold hope. And one question for you, Team Victoria, did you swallow speaker? Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Kayode Yusuf. Very spot on evaluation. I also learned a thing or two from just listening to you talk now. So the next speaker to be evaluated will be TM Tessie Edawo. TM Tessie Edawo will be evaluated by TM Komiyo Ehuwa. I'm very bad with pronouncing names. Apologies, but TM Komiwa is a medical doctor and the VPE at Seaside Toastmasters. She joined Toastmasters in 2019 and has a passion for personal and professional development. She loves to dance, meet new people, and have great food. So please welcome on the virtual lantern, TM Komiwa, to evaluate TM Tessie Edaho. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. TM Tessie, thank you for your speech, your icebreaker. I must comment first that you smiled. I mean, your smile was a bright one. when I started giving my speech, I was too serious. I mean, when I joined Toastmasters, but I mean, this is something you are doing and it's great. It shows people that you are welcoming, that you are receptive. Thank you for that. And then you went on to even introduce yourself after being introduced. I like that. And I don't think that that is wrong. Fantastic. Let people know that you are here and that you've arrived. That was lovely. I was getting pepped up by your speech. It was great. I mean, you at a point you said growing through the speech is a journey, and I connected with that, and I'm sure Toastmasters too would connect to that. And by saying that, you also let guests to know that it is not, I mean, people that are speaking very well now, you know, they are all here on the call, speaking very eloquently and fluently. You are letting guests know that it's not just they didn't just start like that. It was a journey. Thank you for that. Some of the things I would love that you work on, your eye contact. I'm not sure if you were looking, I mean, maybe different now because this is not a physical meeting, and as such, you may look towards, you may think probably that you are looking at the audience, whereas you are looking at the screen, not at the webcam, just like the way I'm looking at it right now. So you could, I mean, when you have eye contact, it's as though you are compelling your audience to listen to you. It's a powerful tool in public speaking. Secondly, the aim was to introduce yourself. I'm not sure maybe you started, but because you spent 1 minute 55 seconds, I felt if you took longer time, I would meet you. I mean, we would all meet you, know what you love. Didn't like your value so long, but surprisingly, you had an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. I felt that was fantastic, regardless of how it went. It was great. I know that subsequently, it will break more legs giving speeches. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that very good evaluation. Our next evaluation will be for our own TM Joy Cheyenne. The evaluation will be done by TM John. TM John has been a member of Toastmasters since 2012. He's married with 2 kids. He's the current area director of Area 18. He has mentored numerous speeches contest winners and won several himself, including the evaluation speech contest. He is a network marketer and investor who loves to read, dance, draw, play volleyball, and meet people. Please welcome again to the virtual lantern, TM John, to evaluate TM Joy Cheyenne. TM John.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Dear Toastmasters and guests, if you enjoyed Toastmaster Joy's speech, please can you give her a virtual round of applause? Toastmaster Joy, well done. You absolutely achieved the purpose of your speech, the lighthouse body. First off, you look beautiful. That alone pepped us up before you say speak, and it's good. You need to look good and feel comfortable before you speak. People are drawn to beauty. I assure you that we're drawn to that. You have a lovely background. It's not distracting, and it's beautiful. Well done, especially in this virtual space. We don't want to be distracted by people's background. You're also well positioned. Remember, this is a virtual environment. It's ideal to stay in the middle, have space to your right, space to your left, and above your head. You have that. People, please look at Toastmaster Joy, see what she's doing and emulate that. A few things I would recommend. Toastmaster Joy, you have a beautiful smile, but you didn't start your speech with that smile. Yes, you're beautiful, but put the smile so we know you like us, so we like you more and we want to listen more. Start with that smile. Note that because we're in the virtual environment, once your camera is on, people might be looking at you. Before your speech, where you seemed nervous, you had not started speaking, but we can see you. You can easily just turn off your camera like that. Get ready, do all your nervous gestures. Now turn it on and speak comfortably the way you did. I would have loved that you kept repeating your vision through your speech. Just sprinkle it there and remind people of what you want, because we forget very quickly. And note, this is not just a random speech. It's actually a project, correct, Toastmaster Joy? So you can ask people, engage with them. Can I reach out to you for this? Please put your name. As they type their name, write it down and follow up immediately. This opportunity might not come up often, especially those that are not in this club. And I'm sure you want as many people as feasible to actually contribute. That's an opportunity you should have utilized. I love that you asked the question, have you ever been part of a group but not part of a group? What a powerful question. The beauty of questions is that they engage people actively, not just passively. And I loved how you used that to kick off your speech. Your introduction is very, very important, and you did well there. You thank people in the room. People love to be appreciated. When you thank them and they feel good, we feel good as an audience. Great use of visual aid. Was very simple, not distracting. However, I would have loved that you just used it right before you needed it so we could look at you and not look at it the entire time. This project was relevant to us, so we paid attention. And I love the conclusion. You smiled very well. And that's why you used your smile. You requested for comments. It was very funny. Comment, like, people love that. Humor always engages people in any language, in any culture. I think it's an incredible project, and I've always known that you're an amazing speaker. And trust me, I was pepped up to see that you did not disappoint. Toastmaster Joy, I look forward to the fruits of the project and to your growth as an individual. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you, TM John. Very pep evaluation. I could feel the energy all the way from here. The last, but no way the least, we'll be evaluating today is TM Chris Anele. TM Chris Anele, you'll be evaluated by TM Abdullah Jimo. TM Abdullah Jimo is a seasoned broadcast journalist with over 7 years of full-time experience. He joined Toastmasters in 2013 and has served as the president of Ikeja Toastmasters Club. He's also the PR manager for Division F, as well as the Area 19 director. He is currently the program quality director of Division F. Such a studious Toastmaster. Please welcome on board the virtual lantern TM Abdullah Jimo to evaluate TM Chris Anele. The stage is yours, TM Abdullah.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, Toastmaster Chris, you excelled at having a good content. I love the story with your brother. You may, however, want to work on first starting with the Toastmasters greeting. It's omitted the ideal way you identify the Toastmaster and other members. Your introduction could be more memorable as well. Somehow it seems it wasn't network, but that you got a call right before being cut off because you were reaching for the phone. Something must have obstructed that. To challenge yourself, I would love to see you work on better control of your background. At some point, we had two persons coming to the car, shutting the door. We could hear the sound. I could even see you tapping one of them to please hold on. So you should, however, work on having better control of your background. Choose somewhere where you can lock yourself indoors, push the kids outside, or tell the adults to shush for the ones you can. So I would really love to see you have better control of your stage. But in all, you had an amazing content. I love the story with your brother. I would love to see you have more control of your stage, though. Over to you, the general evaluator.
You're muted, Toastmaster Chinedu.
My bad. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah, for that PEP evaluation. And on that note, we get to the end of the evaluation for the prepared speeches. It is important to know that one of the things we say here in Toastmasters is that feedback is the breakfast for champions. So it's always good to get this type of feedback so that we are able to prepare better for upcoming speeches. Now I would call on my assistants, my helpers, to also give the evaluation of the meeting. I would start with the grammarian to give her evaluation, TM Korede Ademola. Please come on the virtual lantern and give your grammarian reports. Thank you.
You're muted, TM Korede.
Thank you very much, TM Cheyenne. TM Joy, and thank you very much, TM Chinedu. Today was a very interesting meeting and I had a very good time. In terms of what happened today, first, let me say congratulations to TM Victoria. I love her ring and I wish her a happy married life. In terms of the word of the day, wow. Today I had TM John. Looked like he got the word for me. He used it even much more than me. So well done, TM John. I'd also commend TM Joy, TM Abubakar. TM Abubakar used the various tenses. He used the verb, he used the continuous tense, and TM Victoria, TM Tessie, and TM Chinedu. So well done for the usage of the word of the day. I didn't hear much from our distinguished TMs that were invited for the day. TM Komiyo Ehua, TM Chris, distinguished TM Filippo B, our TM Kayode Yusuf, even though I heard his baritone clearly, and TM John. So thank you. We didn't hear from you, but hopefully next meeting you would use the word of the day. In terms of the grammar, I believe we had a relatively good day. I didn't catch any mishaps, and thank you very much to all of you for the day. Over to you, TM Chinedu.
Thank you, TM Korede. Thanks for that apt and PEP reports. The next person I'll call on the virtual lantern is TM Lawrence Nolly, our timekeeper, to give his own evaluation of the days. TM Lawrence Nolly, please welcome to the virtual lantern and give your reports.
Thank you, TM Chinedu. This is my report. For the prepared speeches, or rather I will start from the table topics. TM Taye spoke for 2 minutes, 4 seconds. TM Joy spoke for 2 minutes, 10 seconds. TM John spoke for 2 minutes, 3 seconds. TM Wale spoke for 2 minutes, 6 seconds. For the prepared speeches, TM Chinyere spoke for 4 minutes, 36 seconds. But I understood that her speech was supposed to be for 5 minutes, supposed to be from 5 minutes to 7 minutes, but she spoke for 4 minutes, 36 seconds. So I wouldn't know whether that is okay for her speech. TM Victoria spoke for 5 minutes, 48 seconds. She was within time. TM Tessie spoke for 1 minute, 55 seconds. TM Joy spoke for 6 minutes, 57 seconds. TM Chris Anele spoke for 4 minutes, 46 seconds. For the evaluators of the speeches made, TM Philly spoke above time. Time allotted for evaluation was 3 minutes, maximum of 3 minutes, 30 seconds. But he spoke for 3 minutes, 50 seconds. DTM Yusuf Kayode spoke for 3 minutes, 19 seconds. TM Kumiwa spoke for 3 minutes, 13 seconds. TM John spoke for 3 minutes, 19 seconds, while TM Jimo spoke for 1 minute, 23 seconds. This is my report. Over to you, TM Chinedu. TM Chinedu. Hello.
The screen is frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lawrence. I think the general evaluator is having a bit of a challenge. Okay, let's move forward. The next role player is the R counter. Toastmaster Shayo, are you there to give us your report, please?
Okay, yes, I am.
Please go ahead.
Okay, for the reports of the R counter reports, TM Philip used the pause fillers five times. TM Christopher used it 5 times. TM Ifeoluwa used the pause filler 3 times. TM Peace used the pause fillers 8 times. TM Tessie twice. TM Victoria used it once, and TM Joy used the pause fillers 3 times. So TM Peace used the pause filler the most. So what do we tell TM Peace, everyone? Don't do that.
Don't do it again.
Yeah. Over to you, the Toastmaster of today.
Thank you, TM Shayo. Thanks for filling in for me too, TM Gimba. So the last evaluation we'll have will be the listening evaluator, TM Vivian Adikun Uku. TM Vivian, please welcome to the virtual lantern and give your evaluation. Do we have TM Vivian in the house? Okay, if TM Vivian is not in, I will as well go ahead and give the general evaluation. Because we're pressed for time, the meeting was set up on time. It was actually open on time. Guests arrived a little bit late, so I would like to encourage everybody to try to join the meeting before the stipulated 11 a.m. Also, the meeting actually eventually started by 4 minutes past the time, 11 o'clock. And I also thank TM Gimba for filling in for the position of the SAA, Sergeant at Arms, for the meeting. That was very, very thoughtful of you. All the role players were present, which made the meeting feel very smooth. And also, I think the theme of the meeting wasn't expressed enough in this meeting. I think we should, although we didn't have our president to give the opening speech, but we could have stressed on it a little bit more. I like the job, I like what the table topic master did. A lot of the questions were very in line with the theme for today. The theme for today, just to remind everybody, was an apple a day. I hope all of you have your apples. I have my own apple here, and I'll be ending on that note. But all in all, I think it's been a very good meeting. I also skipped one part, and I've just been called, my attention has been called to that. We need to do a voting for the evaluators, the prepared speeches evaluators. So pardon me, but the polls are up now. Kindly vote for who you consider is the best evaluator for today. But that being said, my job here is done. Thank you, everyone. Do have a lovely weekend. An apple a day, and I'll hand over control to the Toastmaster, TM Gimba. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please let us give Toastmaster Ned a round of applause. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Thank you so much for that. I've actually also come to the end of my own session, but I was refrained from giving comments during the prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations, but now I am free to do that because the votes are over. Thank you so much, speakers. That was a wonderful show of expertise. Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Tessie, Toastmaster Victoria. That was wonderful, Toastmaster Chingere. The table topics today were wonderful. I also enjoyed the evaluations because the evaluations weren't just for the speakers. I also learned from them, which means when I speak next, I would be sure to factor in those evaluations. Thank you so much for that. At this point in time, because of time, I would quickly hand over to the president of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club. The president of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club is Toastmaster Larry. He joined Toastmasters in 2017, and he is the president. He is an information technologist and fashion designer who loves dancing salsa, watching football, singing, and reading. I have never heard you sing, Toastmaster Larry. One of these days, you should come and do it. He has served in different capacities including Club Growth Director and Area Growth Director for Area 18. Please let us welcome Toastmaster Larry Lawal.
Thank you very much, most kindly, Toastmaster Gimba. I hope you can hear me clearly. And thank you most graciously, the General Evaluator, for that succinct delivery as well. And thank you, everyone. So I would like to crave our indulgence. Maybe Toastmaster Abubakar, the Vice President's membership, will post it on the box. If you're a guest in our midst, you see a link whereby you need to click. There are some few informations we will require from you to join us in our next meeting. And to announce to you, we'll be having an hybrid meeting come October 2nd, and the details will be shared with the Secretary General of the two organizations. This is Toastmasters International Club meetings, where we meet to impact knowledge, where we need to educate and entertain, or learn, relearn, and learn over and over again. So this is what we need to do. However, I would like to announce the winner for the table topics. It was round robin. We didn't vote. And drum roll, please keep clapping. You can unmute now. You can unmute now while we announce the winner for the three speakers. Keep clapping. If you don't clap very well now, I won't announce the winner. If I didn't hear any sound of drum rolling. The winner for speech evaluation first is no other person than my mentor. I may be slightly biased, and my mentor in both career and in Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Kyle. Please clap for him.
One.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I don't know what reaction to have.
I think you should be excited. I mean, you've had like a plethora of these awards, but adding one more should make you excited. I think
I'm more surprised that Mr. President is calling me his mentor in career. That's not true, Mr. President.
Mr. President knows what he's doing. Thank you so much. Before he gets back, I will quickly go on and announce the best speaker for today. Please give me drum rolls, or else I will not announce it. Drum rolls, drum rolls. The best speeches winner for today. Yes, you guessed it. Toastmaster Victoria Okoye.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Victoria. Winning as an icebreaker is an amazing feat. Congratulations. I don't think she's here anymore. Okay, we will quickly go on to announcements. Toastmaster Larry has announced return to physical meetings on the 2nd of October, but please be aware we can only have a maximum of 20 minutes in the room. Area 18 virtual contest is on the 9th of October 2021 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time. Dues renewal is upon us, so please let us pay our dues. Division F virtual debate is slated for the 25th of September 2021 from 12 to 3 p.m. At this point, we would like to acknowledge guests. We're also supposed to accommodate this division director's address and the area director's address as well, but we do not have time for that. Can we please quickly hear from our guests? Any guest on the call, please? Toastmaster Wale Thomas, you've been here a while. Do you want to tell us what you think of the meeting today?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the meeting was very splendiferous, and I enjoyed the pep when I came in to enlighten the hall. We had chat conversation. I also want to say a big thank you to the table topic madam for ingenuity and creativity. That table topic was spot on. Also, the way in which you move from one segment to the other was pretty fun. Though you could have done better when we were starting the meeting. I had fun being here, and I enjoy all the speakers when they spoke. They were all on point. And also thank you for standing in for the president as well. But I'm waiting for the final announcement. The winner, table topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Toastmaster Melody Fahad. Or rather, prospective Toastmaster Melody.
Okay, I'm here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you tell us what you think of the meeting?
Oh, for one, I've seen that there are a lot of veterans here, and then if I keep learning and watching you guys, I'm sure I will get to a stage of like the likes of Victoria. Like I'm really impressed with her speech today, and I hope one day I will get to that level too.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Prospective Toastmaster Shala. Are you there?
Good afternoon, TM Gimba. Sorry, I'm driving at the moment, so may not be able to talk so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. No problems at all.
Yes.
Thank you. Prospective Toastmaster.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You are our return guest, and we look forward to seeing you more and more. Prospective Toastmaster Priscilla, are you there?
Hi, Abubakar. I'm here.
Do you want to tell us what you think of the meeting today?
Yeah, I think it was great. Great learning. Lots of insights to pick up from here. Yeah, looking forward to watching and then learning, and then looking forward to an icebreaker speech one day. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. We have a Jasmine. I don't know if you're a guest or not. Prospective Toastmaster Anita, Victoria, oh sorry, it's not Anita, Victoria Antia. Are you there? Okay, I think we've exhausted our guests. We have a Mesoma Omenkuku. Do you want to talk to us? Don't be shy. I guess not. Okay. By the powers vested on me by the president of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Larry Yusuf, I hereby declare this meeting closed.